Hello, Instagram family. Are you ready to have a summer romance? I'm so excited to be here with you all. And some people aren't quite joining yet, but I'm also recording over here. And I had some music playing for us. Hello, Lady Mother Tree. Thank you for joining. I'm getting our writing music ready because that's important, I think. Hi, Danielle. Waving at you. This room's fun. It's great for ADHD. So we're going to play with, so if maybe you've seen some of my posts, maybe you're here because of that, or maybe you just, hello. I just adore you. Daniela, thanks for being here. So what I wanted to do is, hi, Dr. Aitin. I wanted to kind of explore self-worth, self-value in a different way with all of you through writing, actually. I love writing. I've been writing since I was I think the first book I made, I was 7. And my dad even put it into a little bound it for me, and it felt really special. And it was how to cook a fried flamingo, and I illustrated it and everything. Hi, team. Hello, Gloria. So I don't know about you, but do you love to journal, or do you even like to make lists? Do you find yourself drawn to blog writing, or maybe you write your own blogs? And that's kind of what we want to explore today. But the topic that we're looking at is really that self-value. I've been looking at self-value, I guess, a lot over the last couple of years, but even more, especially in the last 6 months, kind of where self-value, all these things spring off of it, right? Your standards for living spring off of it, the way you treat yourself, the way people treat you, the way you create your life. A lot of it kind of comes down to this, do you actually value you? Do you love yourself? And I did not love myself. I actually hated myself. I grew up just hating life, hating myself. I was super depressed. I didn't have the right body. I didn't have the right family. I didn't have the right money. I didn't have the right clothes. I didn't have the right anything. And actually, writing was kind of my therapy, really. I have a lot of journals, and I would journal a lot and sometimes write stories. And sometimes the stories were to create a space where I felt free. And often the journaling was to dump out everything that was going on in my universe. So I wasn't holding it anymore. So over the summer, I'm going to come on here every single Wednesday at the same time. And we're going to do a little bit of both. I want us to, and we won't start there. We're going to start light. Okay. But to kind of dump some of the lies that we've bought about ourselves, dump some of the pain and the trauma. Yeah. And we can do this through questions, and obviously I'm going to do energetic stuff because that's my jam. And, but also through writing prompts. So I'm going to actually get you to write. I'm going to ask you to write about something, and then I'll give you a little time, and then you write about it. And then we're also going to create and cultivate this garden of self-worth where you feel valuable to you. And then the world will follow suit, because that's kind of how it works. So great. So I hope all of you have something to write with. I have this cute little book. It says, "Find what brings you joy and go there." And it's got these cute little pages. I love journals and little books like this. I could have a million of them. If you don't have a little book, you can go grab one right now. If you don't have a little book, you could just use loose leaf paper or keyboard and even write it out on your phone. Well, I guess you can't write it on your phone if you're on Instagram because that doesn't work. Whatever works for you. There's something for me about actually like the physicality. Read it. Hello. Of actually writing that does something like I was saying, therapeutic with my brain. But do what works for you, because we're just kind of having a fun experiment to see what we can shift and change. So, okay, so we're going to start. I don't know what's happening to my lovely playlist. It's really interesting when you look for like instrumental writing songs and some of the stuff that shows up. Having a hard time. Let's refresh that page. Do you want to have a summer romance with me? I hope yes. Okay. I want to write with you. And I actually had this idea because this amazing graphic designer that I work with, she sent me some, can't play, oh, there we go. Oh, that's loud, but I like it. Okay. I'm going to wave it on my people. You're a writer. So glad you're here. We're going to write today. We're going to write together. So she sent me some stuff that she had written, and I was like, oh my God, I want to read this to people. Like, I want to so if you guys are doing any of these writing exercises, if you write something and you want it to be like shared with the world, I would gladly read it on like the next one. And I was even thinking like, how cool would it be to like actually create a book of like love letters? So that's what we're starting with today. Is we're going to write, maybe not the epic love letter, because I want to warm you up. We're going to start small. We're going to start with, oh yeah, actually, I just changed it. I just changed it in my head. I want you to go to a place in your life where things were maybe kind of difficult. And it could be right now. Maybe things are difficult for you right now. Maybe it was when you were a teenager. Maybe it was when you were even younger, like a little 3-year-old, a little 2-year-old. And I want you to write them just a little letter about the things that you notice about them. So now if you're doing you in the present, some people find it hard to kind of like pull out from who they are and then look at themselves. So if that's a challenge for you, I suggest you go a little back further. You can picture that little person, that little body with that big being in your head. And they're going through a rough time, but imagine like you're them, obviously, but they find this secret letter. They find this secret letter. Maybe it's like folded in one of their books, or they open up their desk and there's a letter there. And it's from you, their future self. And we're going to write a letter that shows them that they're worthy of love, that they are worthy, they have self-value. And if you're doing something, you're multitasking and you can't write, you can even just put it like in your head. Like, what would you say to them? What words would you say to them? Okay, so let's write. And you guys write. I'm going to write too. I'm going to figure out why my music's being so weird. What would you write to that little person? And the music's coming. Hello, Bindi. Thanks for joining us. We are playing with some writing exercises to cultivate some self-love, some self-value. So the question I ask people to write a letter to themselves sometime in their past when they were having a kind of a rough time, and just kind of write, what would you write to them? What would you say to them? What, like, if they could find a letter, this magic letter from their future self, what would it say? And we're just going to write here for a little bit with the music playing. If anyone wants to post anything that they've written, go for it. What if we're all here together? Maybe even one of those times where you started to believe that you didn't have self-value. Maybe some of those moments where you start to believe that something's wrong with you. Hi, Kieran. Oh, I haven't said your name in a while. I adore you. Thanks for being here. Everyone joining, we're doing some writing exercises together. So I've asked everyone to write a letter to their past self at some time when they were kind of struggling, having something difficult show up, and kind of like from this space of it to how. Thank you. Where they could find this letter that would just kind of like open up their world to their self-value. But it's you in the past. So I'm really getting like around the age 3 was popping for me right now. And so I'm just writing her a letter. I'm like really like kind of perceiving her, which is also me. But back then, like that 3-year-old's universe, and where she started to kind of believe things about herself. And for you, when did you start to believe things about yourself that aren't true? Believe things about your value, about your gift to the world. For some people, it's not necessarily that they don't have any value, but their value is only in doing stuff. Their value is only in like getting good grades. Their value is only in self-sacrifice. So what if you could put that in your letter? So what is not true about value? What is not true about value? We're just gonna have a little free writing here. What's not true about value is that it's all about what you do and what you do right. Hi, Nancy. Oh my goodness. I have not seen you in so long. Hello, beautiful. We're doing some writing exercises. What is not true about value? What is not true about value and worth? Mess up, your value diminishes. Yeah, we're just doing some writing together. To that younger self. What is not true about value and worth? What could you tell them? Yeah, it is a pleasure seeing you too. That is not true. Ooh. That others determine your value and worth. Oh, I wish I would have gotten that letter when I was a teenager. It is not true. Um, it's not true about value and worth. How's your writing going? Are you guys enjoying this? I'm really enjoying this. I'm a writing nerd though, so this is a little bit of an experiment to see how this works over Instagram. Hopefully, well. I was really looking at um You have the right to be valued and feel worthy. Mm-hmm. Just the other day, I was like kind of looking at what makes something valuable, right? I'm reading this book, The Ascent of Money, and it talks about how money even like came into existence and all this stuff and debt and bonds, and it's kind of interesting. But what gives some like what makes something valuable in this reality? And then what do I know is true about value that is beyond this reality? Does that make sense? So, for example, you could take a piece of jewelry or a piece of clothing and someone puts a value on it. And they're probably have researched the market and they're kind of putting it on something like an agreed upon price, right? So this reality's rules is majority rules. It's one of the rules. So if the majority of the world says that is valuable, then it shall be valuable. If the majority of the world says that is not valuable, then it will not be valuable. So that's like the bigger part of it. But then you go into the micro and like antiques, for example, like what someone would go, oh my goodness, this is so valuable. I would spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars on this. Someone else would look at it and be like, ew, I would never want that in my house. I have no desire to have that in my world, So really and now let's put it to a person, like what makes a person valuable from this reality? Well, they have something. So it could be like the it factor. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Like they just have that charisma, the it factor kind of thing. It could be their looks make them valuable. It could be their family makes them valuable, like their lineage, right? Their bloodline. Their success makes them valuable. You have to be right to be valued and feel worthy. Yep. Woo! So here comes the energy stuff. So those that know me know that I play with a set of tools and techniques that comes from Access Consciousness. If you want to check out accessconsciousness.com for more, go for it. And it's like just my favorite set of tools for everything, for life. And in it, we have something called the clearing statement. And it's a set of words that actually can move energy out. It can clear energy. It can start to get things moving. And the clearing statement is right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all night shorts, boys, bovettes, and beyonds. If you've never heard of the clearing statement, please go to theclearingstatement.com for more information. But yes, what if we could actually use the energetic techniques to clear some of the stuff that's coming up as we're writing? So you have to be right to be valued and worthy. You have to do what you do, it's about what you do and what you do right that makes you valuable. Other people get to determine your worth and your value, kind of like that, that agreed upon thing, right? When the world agrees that the majority of the world agrees you're a valuable person. Now, if you're not if you're not like a global figure, then it would be your world, right? It would be, does your family see you as valuable? Do your friends see you as valuable? Your community, like you would find within that world, that majority rules kind of thing. Do they see you as valuable? If yes, then you win. You get to be valuable. If they don't see you as valuable, then you might kind of like just kind of go in and hate yourself or or some people will try and achieve, like they work their whole lives to get their parents' approval of the worth of your parents that they raised you. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so it could go like a couple of ways. So where you're trying to work hard to achieve, like if I can only get success, then finally my parents will see me as valuable, then majority rules, and now I get to be valuable. That is how this reality functions. And if we don't recognize that we can choose beyond this reality, then we're pretty much stuck in that arena. That's all you have. And so religion, yeah, whew, right, wrong, good, bad, talk about all nature, sports, moments, and beyond. So if you have, maybe you were like the black sheep, like maybe no one got you, or at least you felt like no one got you, and you felt like no one saw you and no one could acknowledge you. Maybe you're always fighting to be seen, or fighting to be acknowledged, fighting to be validated, or for someone to just like, can't you see me? Like, can't you just see that I have value? And then like there's the whole, like a woman's only good for this and a man's only good for this. Like there's these things that pop up for us too, right? And that is all like the spectrum of this reality with value and worth and worthiness. So let's do a little bit more writing and see what else comes up. So what is not true? So we're writing to that younger self with what we know now. Pick any age. It could literally be yesterday. And you're going to write what is not true about value and self-worth. Like, what do you know now? This reality says it's true, but we know that there's a beyond this reality. We know that there's something beyond that. And from that space, well, we're going to get to that after we finish this. Let's give a little bit more time, put back on the writing music. What is not true about value and self-worth? Oh, you know what is coming up is like where sometimes you do something, you're being something, and it kind of gets acknowledged by someone that you maybe care about or you admire. And then that acknowledgement turns into like something right about you. Whether they did it or you did it, it doesn't really matter. But then what can happen is this like significance gets put around that one thing. Like I've seen some women, and for them, it's like everything is about their beauty, because somewhere that was made right. Like that in their mind is like their only value. Beauty has value. Absolutely. I love beautiful things. I love beautiful people. I love beautiful sunsets. I love the beautiful earth. But when it becomes the only value, I think is when it becomes a limitation. So what if you could also write down what are those things about you that you bought are the only value of you? I know lots of people that they did well, like in school, they got good grades. And for them, it's like, that's it. Like, that's the only value, is to kind of succeed in that way. And so after school, it would translate to like business success or kind of like financial success. Woo! So next question is, what have you made the only thing valuable about you? I'm a good listener, so then no one listens to you because it's all about you listening to them. I can handle anything. So then your value is in handling other people's shit or handling difficulties in the world. He just changed his music up. Need something new. What have you made the only thing valuable about you? Woo! Right, wrong, good, bad, back, bad, all names, words, well read them on. And feel free to put it in the chat too, but you don't have to. Let's see how we feel about this. Next week, I'll get my Spotify working because I made a whole playlist for us. But what have you made the only thing valuable about you? I can take it, take anything. Now, this isn't to say that, again, that these things aren't valuable about you, but it's to acknowledge that maybe there's so much valuable about you. Okay, almost done with that one. So I'm going on to the last one here. So we kind of started more like a little bit of a list today, which is kind of cool. Warm up. Are you ready? Okay. So what is valuable about you that is truly beyond this reality? And remember, we're talking to that younger self. Sometimes it's easier to start there, and then we're going to work our way up. We're going to do a whole bunch of fun stuff. So you're talking to that. For me, I'm talking to that 3-year-old. For you, it might be teenager, might be just last year. And you're writing them a letter. They're going to find this letter, find this list, and it's going to have all this stuff on it. You're going to say, what is valuable? And you're going to tell them what's valuable about you that's beyond this reality. So when I say beyond this reality, it's beyond those things that we just talked about. It's beyond the majority decide this is valuable about you. It's beyond those kind of decided factors or what someone was finally able to see in you. It's even beyond that. It's bigger. And sometimes when we get into this bigger space, it's like, there could be moments without words. And that's okay too. But just ask what words match this energy I'm aware of right now. So what is valuable about that little person, the younger you, that's beyond this reality? To be like your joy. Your joy is valuable beyond this reality. It cannot be measured. It cannot be confined and defined. Your perception. Your perception. Hi, Jess. Oh, I miss you. We're writing together right now. We're just kind of hanging out and writing, and we've been writing letters to our younger selves. And the question I just asked people, so is what is valuable about you that is beyond this reality? And you're saying it to that younger you. So if you want to like grab a pen and write with us, feel free. If not, just you can even think about it in your head. What is valuable about you that is truly beyond this reality? Your joy, your perception, your space of being. Maybe some of those things that like those things that no one's ever been able to, like no one's ever acknowledged about you might be coming up. What if you, in this letter, you could take a moment and acknowledge it for that younger you. Mm. I'm really loving hanging out with you guys. Mm. And then we're just going to end the letter now with, how would you wrap all this up? Your value goes beyond what the sleepwalkers can see. Don't believe all that is projected at you. For it is only someone's interesting point of view. Well, that's it for today. Thank you for being here. We're going to have some new writing prompts next week. If you want to join, same time every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Right here on Instagram. I hope to see you there.